Golf saw a sea change in the 1980s. Consider it a passing of the torch, an alteration of the guard. This was true not only of golfers, but also of golf courses, and how they were kept up. Before the 1980s, green speed wasn't a problem, but it quickly spread throughout the golf world. The game's popularity was further boosted by more television coverage than previously. The sport's popularity increased unlike before, although Jack Nicklaus no longer controlled the game as he had in the 1970s, and Arnold Palmer's prime had long since passed. Let's take a look back at the decade that marked a turning point for the game of golf, and see what these golf stars are up to now. Tom Watson. Tom, who ranks 6th all-time in major championships and has amassed a staggering 39 wins on tour, is now into horse competitions. He is 5+ years into his new career as an amateur cutting horse competitor. Watson, the horseman, had plenty of room on his farm in Kansas, where he could get out in the open spaces to ride and work horses. He also has a nice facility down in Weatherford, Texas, to train. Tom Watson competes at about a dozen horse cutting shows a year, which is a lot more than he plays competitive golf tournaments. Watson does see a few similarities between golf and cutting horses, especially discipline and his renowned laser-like focus that bring out his competitive juices. Watson has earned close to $45,000. His next goal is to top $50,000, which incidentally would top one of his competitors, golfer Hal Sutton, who is also a competitive horse cutter. Lee Trevino. One of golf's most recognizable and iconic figures is Lee Trevino, the ultimate showman in the game of professional golf, and a straight shooter both on and off the course. Trevino, now 82, is still passionate about sport at the junior levels. He is desperate for youth programs like the First Tee to have unlimited free access to golf courses across the country. "The only thing I can do now is to be vocal about it," Trevino explained. "It would be extremely successful if they had their own golf courses, whether 9 or 18 holes, as well as their own driving range, where they could hit whenever they wanted." Seve Ballesteros. Spanish golfer Seve Ballesteros was a celebrated player in the sport during the 1970s and 1980s. He amassed over 85 victories in professional golf competitions worldwide, including 50 triumphs on the European Tour and 5 major championships. He started receiving therapy for a malignant brain tumor in October 2008, but he passed away less than 3 years later. The most exciting moment in Seve's life, he said, was when his eldest son, Javier, caddied for him at the Open Championship in 2006. His 3 children, Javier, Miguel, and Carmen, are now in charge of carrying on his legacy and honoring his memory. Ben Crenshaw. Crenshaw, a native of Texas, won 7 times in the 1980s, including the Masters in 1984. Currently, he lives in Austin along with his wife, Julie, and 3 daughters. Ben is regarded as one of the best putters in history. His entry into the golf architecture business brought closer a lifelong goal of creating quality golf courses in the classical style. Prior to the formation of Coore & Crenshaw Inc., Crenshaw served as a player consultant on the design and construction of the TPC course at Las Colinas in Irving, Texas, site of the annual Byron Nelson Classic. Although some professional golfers have won more major tournaments and earned more money, Ben Crenshaw remains one of the game's most popular and talented players, and he now contributes to the game as a golf course architect with Bill Coore. Bernhard Langer. The majority of Langer's victories occurred on the European Tour, but he was always noteworthy at majors. 1985 Masters was one of Langer's 2 major victories in the 1980s. The 64-year-old German was 63 for 63 in major championships on the PGA Champions Tour, but his streak ended on Friday when he shot a 4 over par 75 in the second round of the U.S. Senior Open. He missed the cut by 2 shots with his 74 in June 23rd of 2019. We hope that Bernhard Langer will continue to play golf for a long time and wish him many more successful appearances on the PGA Champions Tour, Senior Majors, and of course, the Masters. Bernhard Langer currently has an existing contract with Mercedes-Benz as an international brand ambassador, and there will undoubtedly be discussions if Bernhard Langer decides to retire from professional golf. Payne Stewart. Despite doing relatively well in the 80s, Payne is often associated with the 90s decade. Stewart was killed in the crash of a Learjet flying from his home in Orlando, Florida to Texas on October 25, 1999, a month after the American team rallied to win the Ryder Cup and 4 months after his U.S. Open victory. As a PGA Tour personality, Payne became as an entrepreneur, jokester, and golf fashion icon. He became one of the game's most beloved and recognized players, Those who knew him best knew him as a family man, a devoted, fun-loving husband and father. Fuzzy Zoeller. Fuzzy was a great golfer, and his 10 PGA Tour victories occurred during the heyday of Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player. He was born and raised in New Albany, Indiana, where he now resides. In June 2019, doctors performed a triple bypass on the two-time major winner, which sounds like a big deal. The timing of the procedure explains why Zoeller, the 1984 U.S. Open champion, was one of the few champions who did not attend the Champions Reunion at Pebble Beach golf links prior to the 119th U.S. Open. But then there was one post-operative issue. He had no desire to play golf. Zoeller said he played frequently until May 2019, but he hasn't picked up a club since and isn't sure when he will. Even though Zoeller is no longer on the course every day, he still has that golfing itch. He has contributed to the design of several golf courses in his home state of Indiana, most recently on the new Indiana University course. Larry Nelson. Larry Gene Nelson won numerous tournaments on both the PGA Tour and the Champions Tour. He was inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame in 2006. He went 9-0 as a three-time Ryder Cup player before losing a match, and the PGA of America still owes its two-time champion an apology for never naming him as a Ryder Cup captain. Nelson was given the PGA of America Distinguished Service Award in 2011. He was also inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame in 2006. He was recently chosen as the 2023 Memorial Tournament recipient. Nelson didn't start playing golf until he was 21, is maybe the most amazing thing about him. Craig Stadler. Stadler is jokingly referred to as the Walrus due to his hefty physique and thick mustache. He resides in Denver, Colorado at the moment. Kevin, one of his sons, is a former PGA Tour victor. The only father and son to have triumphed on both the PGA Tour and the European Tour are Stadler and his son Kevin. Curtis Strange. Curtis Strange was inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame in 2007. His father, Tom, owned a Virginia golf course, and his identical twin brother, Alan, also played on the PGA Tour. Curtis Strange is currently an analyst for ESPN's golf coverage. Earlier in 1995, he joined ABC as a golf analyst. Nick Faldo. Faldo's cool under pressure and intimidating presence were trademarks of his game. Mercedes-Benz hired Faldo as a brand ambassador in 2007 to promote the revival of the Maybach brand of ultra-luxurious automobiles. Faldo has authored a number of golf instructional books. Faldo has since worked as a television commentator for major golf tournaments. In 2006, he was named CBS Sports lead golf analyst. Faldo just announced that he's retiring from full-time broadcasting for CBS and Golf Channel after 16 years in the broadcast booth. Faldo is ready to pursue other interests, opportunities, and potential partnerships. Currently, Nick operates Faldo Design, a company that focuses on golf course design. He also runs the Faldo Series, which provides opportunities for young competitive golfers. Faldo also said that he plans to spend some more quality time with his wife Lindsay and the rest of his family at a farm in Montana that they are currently constructing. Jack Nicklaus. From the 1960s until the 1980s, Jack Nicklaus dominated the sport of golf. Jack Nicklaus, who is 82, still has a lot of life ahead of him. He could create golf courses. He could raise funds for his preferred charity. He may even entertain the odd young player who is astute enough to seek his advice on a variety of topics, such as how to think, how to prepare, how to win, and how to balance golf and life. Whatever Jack chooses to do, we all know it will be with passion, integrity, character, and excellence. Be sure to check out more fantastic videos on Golf Plus. See you there!